Hi, Paul and Danny. Keep up with the great podcast and all the best to Richard. Thanks for keeping us sane. Cheers, Nigel.
Thanks, Nigel.
Tonight we are going to be doing something a little bit different, I suppose, because trying to lighten the mood up a little bit. And Danny's going to tell us what it's like to live in Spain. Jack Bradley, free Tommy, exactly. Forget about trying to protect freedom of speech. If the blasphemy laws are made law, do we have 4 years to recover our country? Concerned citizen. No, I don't think we do.
No.
I don't think we do. So I've been away from the UK for just over, about 36 hours. And I've tried to switch off completely. I've not looked at the news. I've not looked at anything. Excuse me, because frankly, I've been too busy. My son-in-law is already here in Spain, I think I told you last night. And Danny's kindly, hi Ian, how you doing, brother?
All right, Ian.
Danny's kindly come up today to give us a hand. I've sat back and do what I do best. I've been the foreman, I've been...
Yeah, just telling us what to do. You don't want to put that over there. It'll look better over in that corner.
Doing some directing.
Yeah.
You know, I've got to the age now where I'm a better director.
Yeah.
So he's got a lot more puff in him than I have.
A lot more hot air. Yeah.
Let's have a little look. Paul is like verbal Valium, makes you feel a lot calmer. Luna Jill, that's nice.
That's not bad, is it? To be fair, that's very kind.
I'll tell you what,
who said that?
That is really, I like that, because my wife says I'm a prick.
She has got a point. What? Did I say that? Did I say that out loud?
So good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Give us a thumbs up. Would appreciate that. The Chuckle Brothers were being called there, Danny.
Yeah, I've been called worse.
Danny, can I show you what Danny has tried to eat?
So you've stitched
look
me
at
up
this,
now.
Look, have a look at this. He's supposed to be on a diet. Sophie, if you're watching.
Yeah, Sophie might be. Oh, just so you know, nothing in there, Soph. Only ice.
He's 4 pints
Diet Coke.
and a Diet Coke.
Yeah. 4 pints, yeah, I wish, yeah.
And he needs a shave and all.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm starting to look a bit like I need to be sitting on the old...
You look like Richard.
Yeah, don't say that. And the man just come up and said, there you go, there's your drinks, there's your massive cheesecake and sweeties.
Sweets.
Very nice.
Mind you, I suppose I look young enough to be your dad, Danny. That's maybe,
Grandfather.
Maybe that's what
just
it
leave
is.
It like
yeah.
that.
So where are we? I don't know what's been happening at home. Evening, Claire Bear. Thank you for joining us. We want Tommy out. Absolutely, we want Tommy out. I'm back in the UK tomorrow. Funnily enough, my son-in-law leaves at 6 a.m. in the morning to go back to the UK in a motorhome when he'll be picking my daughter up and coming all the way back again, right?
It's got to be mad. I've just done a trip. When I was back for the march and stuff, a few days later I left and I drove to Portsmouth. Portsmouth, I jumped on a ferry for 36 hours, which was quite nice. Britannia ferries, I think it was. And went across the channel and drove from the north of Spain to the south of Spain, which was hard enough, to be fair. But Aaron's doing a real trip, mate.
A real trip. Matthew says we need a European movement and a rally in Spain. Well, I've got to tell you, as far as I'm aware, this is Tommy's favourite place. He loves a bit of Benidorm.
He does actually, yeah.
He loves a bit of Benidorm.
He stayed here for quite some time, didn't he? Before flying back to the UK in October. Yeah, this is...
Bigwig 44, a judge is allowing 2 million Palestinians to come over here. I did pick up on that earlier. That will be an absolute disaster. We don't need 2 million more of anyone.
Yeah.
What we need is 2 million less. That's what we need.
Exactly that.
And do you know what? I've come to this conclusion in my own mind, right? This is not about disliking anyone, right? It's not about disliking anyone. It's about common bloody sense, right, Danny? I mean, we're full up.
Yeah, exactly.
Full up. We're bursting at the seams.
They've got, you've got policies everywhere, haven't you? Go into a nightclub, they've got a maximum capacity. And we've passed that a long, long time ago. Well, we've got probably the best part of 80 million people in the UK. It's a very small island, isn't it?
Very
when you look
small.
At it. When you look at it.
Yam's physical catalogue of media, thank you for the super chat. Have you seen Nigel saying Tommy should rot? Look, I've got to be honest with you, I don't think that's what he said.
I've not heard that. Did he actually say anything like that?
I don't think that's what he said. And, you know, fair's fair. I'm not sure at all that that is what he said. I think it might be people trying to make more mischief. But when I get back, I'll have the chance to study it a little bit more. But watching Dan Wootton earlier, Dan was under the impression that that's not what he said. We'll see. Epic 2000 cheers. The winds of change are blowing. Mega in Europe is picking up pace. Let's keep momentum and continue taking the actions Paul mentioned last week. Exactly. One woman vigilante. I'm sick of homelessness. Oh, that's terrible.
It's true. It's true. There's a lot of it in the UK. Unless, of course, you've just come across on a boat and you get the 5-star treatment.
Yeah. Let's have a little look. Nigel should state clearly what he said. Yeah, I mean, that would be a good...
I haven't seen it.
Good point. That's a good point, though.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, if he's been misquoted, then he should put it right.
Yeah.
Dan Wootton said that he said it's unfair or something like that. I can't quite remember.
Yeah, I've not seen anything, mate.
But I'm back tomorrow. I'm back in the UK tomorrow. So when my son-in-law's driving all the way back, I'm hoping to be able to wave
from the plane.
to the plane. But this is the weird part, right? Because you know I made a video the other day saying how upset I was that my daughter was going to come and live here. And, you know, I wouldn't be seeing as much of her. You know, I'm still upset, but...
Well, you're here now. It didn't take very long, did it?
No,
it doesn't
this little
take
trip makes me realise how easy it is. You know, I can leave my house in Brighton,
Gatwick,
and be in Spain pretty much the same time as if I was driving to Birmingham.
Yeah.
Probably less.
Yeah.
Sheridan Marsden, thank you.
And now
very
you
much.
ain't even got to pay for a hotel in Spain, Paul, because you can stay
Paul
with...
mentioned last week, sorry?
You ain't even got to pay for a hotel now, have you? You can stay with your daughter.
Yeah, I could stay with my daughter. Well, I'm driving bloody mad, probably. Yeah, the new health secretary said it's perfectly normal and okay to identify it as a llama.
Yeah.
Well, when I get back, I'm going to identify it as an entitled multi-millionaire.
Yeah,
and wherever I go,
hope the government
everything should be free.
Yeah, exactly that.
I don't think it's going to work, do you?
I've said it before, Paul. You've got children now in, you know, secondary education that have got cat litter trays because they identify as cats. They're walking around with little towels.
Yeah.
And look, if you're one of the parents of one of these children, you need to get hold of them and just say to them, look, you know, this ain't normal. You need some, you know, to go and see someone. You're not a cat, are you?
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Marianne Fitzgerald says it's wrong, but he definitely said rots. That's all I heard, but I didn't hear Tommy's name at all, and he could have been on about something totally different, to be fair.
I think you've got to give him the benefit of the doubt until we've seen it, really, haven't we? You know?
Okay, look, Scruff said Nigel tonight at the announcement actually said something positive about Tommy.
Okay.
Do you know what really worries me about Tommy, and this is what I'm really concerned about, more than anything, is his mental health and his condition, and where he is right now, and the fact that he's being treated differently to any other prisoner in the entire country.
Yeah. Well, he's a
definite political prisoner.
Sorry, mate.
No, it's all right, Danny.
Is that no? Yeah, look, I'll zip it up.
Let me move it. That's it. Zip it up a little bit.
There you go, mate. Yeah, just for you
There
guys.
you go. There you go. That's it. That's perfect.
Yeah, his prison sentence doesn't fit the crime, does it? At the end of the day, and let's be honest. I know it's for contempt of court, which everyone in the on the opposition keeps reminding us, but the contempt of court is for a video that would be filmed and shown on Channel 4, Channel 5 every day of the week. He spoke the truth. When you watch the video, if you haven't seen it, it's on the top of Tommy's Twitter account, and I think there's about nearly 160 million people have now seen that. 160 million people. You know, double the population of the UK.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's very, very good. Oh, thanks to Elon, of course.
Yam's physical catalogue of media. To visit Spain, how much is it to stay a week? Well, let me give you an example. I can fly from Gatwick to Spain this trip cost me £35 on the way out, £45 on the way back.
Cheaper than a taxi to the airport.
Which is the same price. Actually, it's less expensive than it cost me and Danny to go on the London Eye.
Yeah, it's true. 84 quid.
Yeah.
Not that we're going to let everyone forget that, but 84 quid to go for half an hour, which was bored by the time we come round.
That traumatised me.
Yeah.
But then obviously you got the cost of staying. I mean, it's going to be different in the summer.
And also, if you've got someone you can stay with,
Evening, Rob.
that's going to keep the price down quite a bit, isn't it? You don't have to go out on the lash all the time. You don't have to go out eating all the time. You can just chill at your place where you're staying and, enjoy the sunshine.
Yeah. I'm looking at all the chats coming through, reading them. Thanks for all the nice comments. I really appreciate it. Look, at the end of the day, when I get back, for me, my main mission is to keep putting pressure on whoever we can put pressure on to get Tommy out, or at least to get him moved to a Cat D prison where he can maybe
get a bit of home release.
Get a bit of home release.
Yeah.
I mean, look, he should be out on a tag. It's as simple as that. And there's absolutely no need for him to be where he is now. But
it's a civil conviction, isn't it?
It's a civil conviction. But when you look at who's in charge of keeping him there, that's the problem. Even in Warhawk,
it's more the person than the crime, isn't it?
Person,
we know
not
that.
The crime,
we know
absolutely.
That. And everyone knows that.
So for me, everything else right now is kind of secondary. Look, some people want to go and demonstrate outside the prison.
It's all right as long as it's properly arranged and dealt with via the authorities, so that they know what's coming, and that they can make it a secure environment, and people can still have their demonstration and have their voice heard.
We can't have, what we don't want, is
carnage,
trouble. In a bid to get one person out of prison, we don't want
anyone
anyone else from our people going to prison.
Yeah,
that defeats the bloody object.
Yeah.
So doing things the right way, whilst it might seem like sometimes we're not doing anything, it just takes longer. I mean, that bloody petition that I applied to on the .gov website now, I have still not heard back from them, still not heard a decision. They are clearly either going to block it or they're going to ignore it. I think they're going to ignore it. I really think they're just going to completely ignore it.
That's got to be a couple of weeks nearly, isn't it?
I think it's
10 days? Is it?
It's probably more than 2 weeks now.
And it's supposed to be 36 hours, 48 hours?
Yeah. So clearly, they are manipulating the situation.
Exactly that.
Chat's coming through very fast, but I'll pick them up where and when I can. Guys, Nigel said it's wrong, not rot. Yeah,
okay.
I don't think...
That makes sense, to be fair.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't think, love him or hate him, I've got to be fair. I'm not going to, deliberately lie about someone just to try and score points. I don't think that Nigel would have said that.
There was a comment just then saying, do we know if Tommy's well nourished? Well, allegedly, no. He's feeling very weak at the moment. He's very low on protein. He's asking for more protein, but he's also very suspicious about the food that he's being given. So he's very, very limited on food. He's in the gym every day, and apparently he's in the best physical shape of his life, but he's feeling quite weak.
They're saying the audio's a bit loud, Danny.
Sorry, mate.
Move that down to sight, Dan. That might be a bit better. Hopefully that's a bit better.
Okay.
Any updates for the petition on Tommy? Yeah, Kelly, that was it. Sorry, I missed that. Yam's physical catalogue. Thanks, guys. But I'm thinking of resting a week. Yeah, I needed a couple of days off, to be honest. I really felt quite drained.
I've been tired since the March,
Yeah.
since the 1st of February. I've been quite drained. I definitely come down with something on that day, but I'm fighting it with the vitamins and bits and bobs that I'm taking.
Did that stop you from shaving as well, Danny?
Yeah, sorry about this, guys. I did actually mean to have a shave, but as soon as I got to Paul's today, we were sort of out and straight out to something to eat.
I'm not saying it's bad or anything, but
yeah, no,
we
he
were
is.
sitting here a minute ago and a bloke walked past and give him €2.
See what I might
do.
Pay for dinner then.
Go and sit over on the pavement over there, Dan.
All right, I'll see you in a minute.
No, but seriously, I mean, I think we was both knackered last week, didn't you?
Yeah, it was tiring, wasn't it? The build up to it was quite tiring. We was in London for a few days prior to the event as well, and yeah, it was a tiring thing.
Where's my shout out, Paul, for my gifts I sent you? Sheridan Marsden, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, sent me a couple of little gifts through the post that now sit proudly on my desk. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Nina Vanava, the lovely Nina, thank you. We need a tramp. Did you hear him today? No, I didn't.
We do need a Trump.
I've been
in
very
this country.
naughty. I've had 24 hours off. I've tried to
Shame
stay
on you.
away from everything for 24 hours. Let's have a look. P and Joanne Pearson, who is Tommy's legal representative and why so quiet? From
Do you know
Cape Town.
what? There's been a bit of talk in the background of what's gone on. I mean, it's very quick to put someone in prison, but to get someone out of prison is a very long, lengthy, drawn-out process, even if you've got all the money in the world, it seems, which he has. Not Tommy, of course, Elon, who's funding Tommy's legal.
I mean, I know a little bit about what's going on with the legal side, but I haven't got permission from Tommy's team to repeat it. So obviously I can't repeat it.
Does Tommy have a court case tomorrow? Not as far as I know. It's sometime in March, I believe.
Jenny W. Paul, need your help. What's up, Jenny? Boys, what does that say? Let's have a look. Boys, where in Spain are you, and is it bad there as it is in the UK? We are right now, we're in Benidorm. Let me give you a quick little look round where we are. It's very quiet.
Very quiet, because we're in the winter at the moment.
We're in the winter, but there's still more English people here than there is at home. I've got to tell you. It
had about a 20-minute downpour earlier, didn't it? Which is quite nice.
We went into a restaurant earlier on and someone English served me. That's the first time that's happened in a long while. Let's put it
No,
back.
in a nutshell, no, it's nothing like as bad as the UK.
Yeah.
We haven't got a particularly great government here at the moment. We've got a far left government in Sanchez who's not very good, not very popular, and probably will never get in again. Well, let's hope he doesn't. But the problem is with the UK, if we get migration come in, they're gifted everything, aren't they? They're given hotels, they're given transport, they're given free dinners, they're given money in their pocket. They're not asked too many questions, and they're in a 5-star hotel, like I say. Here, they don't get anything. So there's not really any cause to stay here. So they just use this as a passing through country a lot of the time. A bit like France, to be fair.
Well, let me give you an example. The sound is too low, they're saying now. God blimey. We'll get it right in a minute. Dan, that's it. Lovely. That should be fine. Let me give you an example. My son-in-law and my daughter have just come over. Thank you, Pammy. Is the pledge. And Ben's pack united. Tommy, yes, it is united. My son-in-law and my daughter have come over to live here. They had to prove how much money they had in the bank, how they're going to earn their money when they get here. They had to have health insurance. My granddaughter has to go to a school where they pay for her to go to school, so it's a paid-for school, no free education.
And they had a 200-page document, a 200-page folder to apply for their visa. But they've done it all properly.
All done properly.
Exactly. They've not come in, illegally.
The visa application alone, I think, has cost them about $3,000.
I think, yeah. I mean, he did. I won't share it because we haven't got permission to share it. But it's well over 10,000 in total to get to this stage.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. And they've done it all properly. And when they get here, they won't get a penny off the state. They'll have health insurance. They'll be working. So, I don't have any problem with people that come to our country that do all those things, especially when it
Pay
comes
into
to
the system and contribute to the system.
Well, yeah, especially when it comes to the healthcare. They're paying for insurance.
Absolutely, they won't get
God
healthcare
forbid
here.
if they need any healthcare,
Yep.
they'll have to pay for it.
Yep.
The other thing is that my granddaughter, she's going on an intensive Spanish course, so she'll be learning the language. And I've said to them, look, you know what? See how you get on. 4 years. You've got 4 years that I want you out of our bloody country and away from all the aggravation. And hopefully at the end of that 4 years, we can get a government in where we can say, like, come home.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, look, I think personally, once you're settled here, you know, like I say, I get a little bit of stick on the channel because I fight for the UK, but yet I'm living in Spain, and I get that. But I was coming to Spain no matter what. No matter how great the country gets, or no matter how bad the country gets. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
it won't make the sunshine, and I do like the sun. I was always gonna quit in Spain anyway, though that didn't quite happen. But yeah.
Let's have a little look.
But I'm 4 years down the line living in southern Spain, and my son, I've got 2 older children in the UK. One of them's 50-50 whether he'll come and move to Spain. The other one, she won't move to Spain because she's quite settled in a career and with a boyfriend. But I've got a 4-year-old son who's fluent in Spanish already, and I mean fluent. He speaks, as we're speaking in English, he speaks Spanish. He loves his school, and I think we've sort of embedded him. We're in a very Spanish area. We're not in an English area, and we've really enjoyed and continue to enjoy. You know what Spain has given us. We're not trying to change anything. We might be called, I suppose we could be classed as an immigrant here, but we've got businesses here now, so we employ people, we're paying into the system.
You're net contributors.
Absolutely. We're enhancing Spain. Let's put it this way, I pay more to Spain than Spain pays to me.
Yeah.
But I'm happy with that. I'm not here to change anything. You know, I moved to Spain, so I have to accept how Spain is. I'm not coming here to try and change anything like a lot of people are coming to the UK and they're not liking it.
I mean, look, you know what, look, Danny's my mate, right? And I've known Danny
thanks, mate.
No,
That's
but
kind
I'm
of you.
being, you know, I always say this to people. I'm always trying to associate myself with good people. And I'll tell you now, Danny is bloody golden, right? He's a golden guy, right? And I get a little bit annoyed when I see people giving him a bit of stick for living out here.
It is what it is, you know.
But you know what? I see his lifestyle out here, right? I see his beautiful little son growing up out here, happy, safe. His lovely wife. God knows, I mean, he's punching well above his weight, I've got to tell you.
Oh, I have to dispute that one, but
He's
so
got a lovely
punching.
wife who is happy, safe. I don't blame him, you know what I mean? Like, good luck to him.
Do you know what? One thing that really stands out here against the UK, with all the political correctness that's going on in the UK, when my son goes into school, he's got a teacher that looks after him for 3 years, first 3 years of his schooling, and then he changes to a new teacher for the next 3 years. Now, when he ran into school today, I took him to school. He ran into school, and the teacher just grabs him and kisses him and cuddles him and everything else. Now, if that happened in the UK now, there'd be a report. There'd be this, there'd be that, they'd be reprimanded, they'd be threatened with all sorts of, criminal. It's back to basics here. It's back to the old way. And that's what I really, really like about it.
Yeah, family life, Christianity,
Exactly.
it's really nice,
Yeah.
So look, good luck to Danny. He's back to the UK often enough. Obviously, he's got family there. And so I get a bit pissed off, if I'm honest, when I see people giving Danny a bit of grief. I mean, you've been here 5 years now, Danny.
Four years, yeah. I used to live in Tenerife years ago, but that was a long, long time ago. But I love it here. Mainland Spain is a lovely place to live. But like I say, I'm still very passionate. I've still got business interests and family that live
Nobody
in the UK.
loves their country more than this
Yeah,
fella.
absolutely.
I'll tell you that.
I'd fly the flag.
He gets so wound up about the whole bloody thing.
Yeah, I really do.
But just because he's here doesn't make him a hypocrite. It's just his way of life.
It makes me a sun worshipper.
And you know what? I think, Danny, one day, I think you'd actually come home, maybe.
Possibly.
But only.
Nothing's forever, is it?
No, nothing's forever.
Yeah.
And I only think you come home, in my opinion, if you felt it was safe, a safe environment for your little boy.
Yeah.
and your wife,
Yeah.
and you know, a better place for them to be. But right now, that's a long way from being possible, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there is parts of me that thinks, is it reversible?
gonna happen?
Is it reversible from the damage that's been done? I mean, this new government have only been in what 10 months, is it 9-10 months? And the damage they've caused already, and the changes they're making, it's already becoming unrecognisable. And sadly, we've got another 4 years of this. And
You're talking about at home now, right?
yeah, in the UK, sorry, yeah. And I just think in 4 years, wow, I mean, how much more damage will be done?
Utopian Science Odyssey says, come home to the 51st state of America.
Could be.
John Mack, I was born in London 20 years ago because it was messed up, then came back to Ireland and now have to go back to Belfast to feel like I am in Ireland because Dublin looks like London. 20% is only, Leroy from Fame, London is only 20% Cockney now. Is it as much as that?
Yeah, I was going to say, that high.
20%. I'd be surprised if it was as high as that, to be honest. I mean, again, I've come to the conclusion that worrying about some of the things that you feel is actually, it's fine to say what you feel because this is facts. We're not causing trouble, we're not being horrible about anyone, we're looking at plain, simple facts. And my capital city, Danny's a Londoner, our capital city, has been ruined. It's been changed beyond belief. It's not safe, it's a horrible place to be.
And what do they do? What do they do with Sadiq Khan for doing that? Knight him. And that's why I'm done with the royal family now as well. As I say, every day I get a little slice, where it takes it out of you a little bit more until you eventually sit there and say, I can't support this no more.
Let's talk a little bit about the government potentially allowing people in from Gaza.
There's been an estimate on that as well, hasn't there?
Yeah, there's been a huge estimate on that. Of the amount, was it 2 million people or something? Now look, this is the way I see it. You cannot invite in people to your country that openly support a terrorist regime, a terrorist organisation. We've seen the way that these people behave in London. We definitely don't need any more from a security viewpoint. And by the way, here's the biggest point of all. Even their neighbours in Egypt, etc., do not want these people. So if they don't want them, why should we be taking them in? Charlotte, thank you, Charlotte. My daughter being taught jihad is mostly peaceful in school, yeah? The next RE topic, how can we express ourselves as sexual beings? It's insane. Charlotte.
It's mind-numbing.
This stuff does my head in. It does my head in. This is one of the reasons why my daughter that's moving here, I'm going to wait until she's moved before I say what I want to say. I'm going to wait until she's moved and my little granddaughter has left the school that she's currently in. When she's out, I'm going to tell you why I'm so pleased she's getting out. I don't want to spill it just yet, but I'm going to tell you.
But this is all, they're sadly to say, they're brainwashing children at a very young age now. This is why Christianity is under a massive threat now. There's apparently, I can't remember, don't quote me this, but apparently in recent years, there's been 500 closures of churches in the UK, and all of those churches, apart from a few, have become mosques. So there's a huge tip, isn't there?
Guys, I'm trying to read all your chats as they're going past. They're going quite lively. Charlotte, again, thank you. My daughter is only 13. I mean, it's just insane. I mean, my granddaughter that I'm talking about, she's 7 years old. We're going to look back. I have to believe, to keep my sanity, I have to believe that in 10, 20 years' time, we're going to look back at this moment in history and go, this was mental. How the hell did this ever happen?
Yeah, but will we look back at it fondly and look at the time and go, well, look, it's okay now after all that? Or will we look back and say, should we have done more?
Yeah. Lynn's random stuff. Paul Starmer is flying full families from Georgia now. The Truth Hurts YouTube channel interviewed a woman who had arrived on a plane 2 weeks ago. I think Starmer's plan now, he knows the game is up vote-wise. He knows it, and he probably knew it the day he was elected because he knew what he was going to do.
Hence the cancelling of local elections.
Hence the cancelling, exactly. What he'll now do is he will import his voters.
If you won't vote for him, he'll import people that will.
He'll import people that will. And I think that's where we're
And
at.
the talk at the last time I heard was 4.9 million under the Labour government. So
Absolutely.
it's a lot of people.
All I want, I think all we all want, is just a nice place to live. I mean, you can't ask.
Apparently you're not particularly clear, Paul. I'm quite clear.
Well, I should
You've
be,
got a
mate.
red light on yours.
Yeah, no, that's because mine's recording.
Oh, okay.
But we should, we should all want the same thing. UKIP are sounding a lot better. Well, look, I said last night, I spoke briefly last night about Nick. I think he's making a lot of sense in what he says. But that's another story for another occasion.
I like Nick. I think as you said in the live yesterday, he come across a little bit wrong at times, but what he's saying is dead right. And I've got a lot of time for Nick.
Right, yeah. And I think he's very brave. He's gone up in my estimation.
Yeah, I like him.
I think, whether the party can go anywhere, we spoke about that last night. I think that's questionable. Suffer-fish, Palestinian refugees, thousands of Axel types. Don't, God forbid.
I just got a message from my mate George in Spain. You're looking old, mate.
Is that you or me?
Well, I don't know actually. George, text us, mate, and let us know whether that's me or Paul.
Trump meeting Putin in Saudi Arabia just gone live on BBC News. Yep, I think there'll be...
To be fair, there'll be a lot to thrash out, wouldn't there? I see an end to that soon.
Yeah, I do.
With Trump being in power now.
Yeah, I do, yeah. I think there'll be, hopefully, please God, that will come to an end soon.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Bit of good news for once.
I was talking to a young woman earlier on here. She's from Ukraine. She speaks Ukrainian, obviously. She spoke Russian. She spoke Spanish, English, and she spoke, there was another one as well. I think she said German, I think it was. Amazing how these people learn so many languages. They're so educated. I'm still struggling with bloody English. Keith, thank you, Keith. Move to Spain, Paul. Be with your daughter. You can still continue the movement. Life is short. Spend it with loved ones. Thanks for...
It's true, Paul.
Selling us.
Something maybe you're considering in the
Jay
future. But...
Stansfield. Oh, thanks for selling us, Jay Stansfield. So you're obviously a Birmingham fan. Thank you, mate. The Knights Templar will be homeschooling from Easter. Let's network.
I'll let you read it out.
Not the Phil Mitchell lookalike.
The Phil Mitchell lookalike. Yeah. Thanks, George.
No, look, guys. I've said to you before. Look, I will stay at home and keep going. Basically,
for as long as you can.
For as long as I can, until the job's done. It is.
If ever you did, you can always fight the fight from here.
Rick and Rach Cousins, you mentioned next level politically, Paul. What do you mean? Well, for me, that would be potentially maybe I'd like to have stood for a party, potentially the Life of Joe member for 5 months. Thank you. Hi, Paul and Danny. You are all doing a great job. Thank you, mate. Potentially, I would have considered standing for a party, but I just don't feel that my background is necessarily what people will... I mean, it's all very well saying, oh, I'd vote for you, Paul, and all that, and that's lovely, but...
I wouldn't.
You guys know me, that's the thing. There's a lot of people that don't know me, and they would maybe look at me and get the wrong impression. If you're standing for a party that's on the centre right, you know what the local media are going to do. You know they're going And you know,
Would you
they're
want the
gonna
headache
spin
of it at
And
this time
would
of
I
your
want
life?
the headache? Would I want
Not
my
necessarily,
my
no.
grandkids being around all that nonsense? Not really. So I don't know, but I think we have to move forward politically one way or another. It is the only way. How is Richard coping? I haven't spoken to him the last couple of days.
I've got a message from Richard yesterday saying he's still a little bit tired and a bit run down. Obviously, he's had some bad news in the last few days, and we're just trying to let him. If you're watching tonight, Rich, hope you're
Yeah,
okay.
all the best, Richard. Zeus says if I could move out, I would, at least until Labour's out. I don't blame you at all. We want to see you in your speedos, Dan. God bless you, but Danny,
Yeah,
budgie smugglers.
your channel would go down to about 3 followers. Then
Danny,
one would be
and
me dad.
budgie smugglers.
One would be
Are
me.
you closing? 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Good man.
Thanks, mate.
See, my Spanish is coming on well, look. Putin passing through from Syria, lost bases, up channel to Baltic Sea, nothing here to see. Danish press, free press, they say Tommy's not looking well on YouTube. I did actually see that earlier on. Look, he's not going to look well, is he? What are we now, 105, 106 days in solitary confinement?
It's not good for anyone, is it? I
Not a
mean,
bit
recommended 14 days is 100, what'd you say, 106 days?
something like that, 106.
I
I mean,
mean,
this is insane. It's insanity.
It's torture. It's torture, that's what it is.
It's insanity. And I honestly can say that sometimes I sit there and all of a sudden it'll come into my mind and I actually can't eat because I feel guilty that, you know,
He's having tin tuna and sitting on his own.
we're sitting here having a beer or something. And
And there's still suspicion how many emails are getting through and how many emails are getting back. There's an awful lot of, I've been waiting for a reply to an email I sent him about 10 days ago now, and it should have been back by now. But maybe he's missed it, maybe he hasn't received my one. Obviously going on Paul's channel at times puts me in the higher risk category for getting emails backwards and forwards. I've received one, but maybe that one slipped through the net.
Yeah. I mean, I've now not written back to him because my last email to him was blocked. His last email to me was blocked.
Your visit?
My visit was blocked. So when I get home tomorrow, I'm going to write to him again, but there's no sign of... actually, sorry, I tell a lie. I did drop him an email the day before yesterday, but I've had no confirmation that it's been delivered.
Yeah, that won't have got there yet. From my recent conversations with him, it's taken about a week from one end to get a reply back, just over maybe 8 or 9 days.
Hi, Jade. So yeah, I mean, it's absolutely insane. So when I get back, for me, my number one priority is to keep putting pressure on the right people, to put pressure on the right people. I know people who can put pressure on people that I don't know, if that makes sense. People higher up the food chain, if you like. We got some great advice from a very high-ranking member of a political party last week, which has been passed on. But again, it's slow. Everything is so slow. It's just insane. Insanely slow. 15 minutes of fame for the cafe man, yeah.
What did he say there? Danny, what did he say?
Danny, are you as famous in Spain as you are in the UK?
Well, it's
You're
becoming a bit of a
celebrity now.
problem now since I've been on Liam's channel.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
it's started.
it, mate, yeah. That was it.
I'm surprised Paul's had me on the channel since, to be fair.
Well, you know what it's like, Danny.
Yeah. Someone's got to do it.
Rochelle says, I worry what this country will be like in 5 years' time. Yeah, absolutely. Abigail, where are Tommy's lawyers? Look, they are working on this, but like I said, everything in the legal system is super uber slow to the point of absolute insanity. I think I can reveal this. Can I reveal this? Yeah.
Yeah, just do it.
So basically, there was a letter that was required from someone. Let's just put it that way. There was a letter that was required from someone. Now, how long does it take you to write a letter? You can write a letter in what, an hour? A couple of hours if it's a bit of a complicated one? They were quoted 20 days. 20 days to write a goddamn letter. Katie, thank you. Would be great to do an event, especially for parents, families. Logistics may be challenging, but our kids need to be involved in their future. Could be teaching them history, fun activities. I love that idea. I love it. The only problem is you'd have the loony lefties all over.
We've had all these problems, haven't we? So-called problems with the schools going into some sort of lockdown and you know, I'm hearing that children are having to climb under their desks and sit in the dark. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I mean, this is happening apparently in more than one or two schools, which is quite worrying, to be fair. I mean, you know, if you can't drop your kids to school and go home and not worry about what's going on with them, and apparently, I think you said it, Paul, didn't you, that no one was getting any answers to why this was happening.
Still haven't had any answers, no.
You know, would you be happy putting your kids in school? No.
Anthony, Paul, you would be great as an MP. You are a real person. Thank you, mate. We have had enough of the toffs. Yeah, I agree with that. All the best to you and Danny. Tony from Lowestoft, thanks.
Cheers, Tony.
Danny, what was Spanish for Bill?
A la cuenta, por favor. Sí, señor. Gracias.
Gracias. Fluent, the man's fluent. He's only been here 5 years.
Yeah, that's about all I can say. And uno más cerveza. No. Kidding.
El Loco.
Yeah, loco.
Oh, dear. Yeah, I mean, look. Let's have a look. Physical catalogue of media, thank you. I don't want to say this. It drives me crazy sick, but part of me thinks this far left Labour lot will win again with all of what they're bringing in. I mean, look, that's what we were saying.
That's
a minute
the worry,
ago.
isn't it? That is the worry. I mean, the only thing we take a lot of confidence from what we're doing. When we arrange the marches in London, we never arrange a march to counter protest their marches, but they always arrange a counter protest to our marches.
Yeah.
And our marches, no matter what the BBC and ITV and Sky, they're all lying. I saw the video the other day of the other side with all the placards lent against the wall because no one was walking around with them. There was probably 500 or 600 people from the other side. If you look at the people that was holding the lead banners, they looked like they were auditioning for a part in the SAS, you know, that you couldn't see anyone, everyone was masked up, terrible atmosphere, and 500 or 600 people against, I don't know how many thousands were at our march.
Real British Media, big up Lowestoft. Hello, mate. Lady Pam, my daughter told me yesterday my granddaughter is starting dance classes. Where in Yorkshire, my tummy flipped, but I had to be positive and say it's great. Such a scary time. I mean, for me,
that would be scary now.
Do you know what? For me, Danny, that sums it up. That sums up the crazy world that we're living in. Your stomach goes.
My older kids were at school, my daughter used to go dance classes all the time. I never used to think, oh my God, do you know what I mean? That some lunatic could go in there and do damage to any of the children.
And that was when Jimmy Savile was the teacher.
Not funny.
No, but seriously, I mean, that just shows you where we're at, doesn't it? That you have to be worried when your children are going to a goddamn dance class.
Someone's just said there, crazy times.
Yeah, crazy times, insane times.
That's exactly right.
Anyone here paying their TV licence, says Leslie. We need weekly marches all around the UK, road shows.
Well, the farmers' protest the other day seemed to be very successful.
Gary Ford, this is a big one, he says, we will look back in 20 years' time thinking, how did we hand over our country over to Islam?
Well, that's what we're doing it. At least at the time, right, we can hold our heads up high. And the people that watch the channel and the people that turn up at the marches and the movement and stuff and say we tried. Win, lose or draw, we at least can say we tried.
Yeah, exactly. And that's all we can all do. We can all only do our best. And I will say this for all the YouTubers out there, because I'll stick up for my fellow YouTubers, whether I love them or hate them, whatever. I'll stick up for them because we're in the same industry. We can all only do our bit. We can only do what we can do. Some of us are good at some things, some of us are good at others. Hopefully we all complement each other, and together we can do something positive. But I think sometimes I see criticism for YouTubers. I'm not talking about myself now, I'm talking about others, Danny.
Yeah. And you get criticism.
And myself. We all get a bit of criticism, but we all do what we can do and we try to do our best.
Well, someone messaged me on my Facebook the other day and made a comment and said, look, you know, Paul's got 270, nearly 280,000 subscribers. That's very small compared to the population of the UK. And my reply to that is, well, what's your plan? You know, send me the answers on a postcard, because we're at least trying to do something. And just because Paul's only got 270, 280,000 subscribers, I say only, some of the videos are seen by well over 1 million people. Now, 1 million people that see a channel or see his views or other people's views on his channel, that's a huge reach. 1 million people. I mean, Reform have only got 200,000 members. That's Reform UK. Paul's got 276,000 subscribers. So there's 76,000 more members to this YouTube channel than Reform have got. And a lot more than Labour.
Yeah, I never thought that, yeah. I mean, here's the thing as well, is that this is not going to be there's no quick fix to this, is there?
No. Unless the King got involved, which he won't.
Unless the King got involved, yeah. There's no quick fix. I think, Danny, we better get out of the way before we outstay our welcome.
I think so. We're going to get the boys in a minute and chuck us
we're
out.
going to get chucked out. I would love to connect with Rupert Lowe. Rupert Lowe, if you get this message, please get in touch. I would love to get involved, and Reform definitely need to bring somebody in from our side of the fence to try and bring everyone together. I will be more than happy to try and be that person. Shay Ragnarsson, I know it's a different threat now, but I remember doing duck and cover exercises at primary school during the height of the Cold War. Wow. Adis, Paul and Danny are brilliant. Richard and Tommy too. Thank you so much.
I'm sure Richard would have joined us on the live tonight, but he's just not.
Yeah, we're leaving Richard alone at
He's
the
been
moment.
a bit under the weather and also had this terrible...
Sugar, too loud for some, too soft for me. There you go. You can't please all the people.
Absolutely, mate.
All
Absolutely.
the time. Exactly. Right, guys, we're going to love you and leave you because we're going to get kicked out. Danny's used to getting chucked out.
Yeah, and a lot better.
It's not my sort of thing.
A lot earlier than this normally.
Yeah, I don't get chucked out of anywhere. Let's have a little look. But it's been lovely speaking to you guys again tonight. Especially Danny's driven up from where he lives, which is what, an hour and a half?
Yeah, hour and 45 minutes, yeah, but it's all right. I'm staying up this way tonight. Paul's going to drop me off somewhere. I don't know where he's dropping me off.
He's come all this way just to see me. What a waste of time that was.
Bloody was as well, to be fair.
I don't know. But no, it's been lovely catching up with you again. My next video, I will be back home, God willing, and we will be back to normal. And then I think I'm out here again in probably, I don't know, what, a couple of weeks?
That'd be nice when your daughter's out.
Yeah. Once we
obviously not in this area.
Yeah,
we just popped up this area. Yeah.
This is the closest down. Excuse me. When she's back, I'm coming back with a wife for a few days, just to see my granddaughter. And
you can drive down to me next time.
I'll drive down to you. Yeah, lovely. So thanks for joining us, everyone. Really appreciate it. Love to you all. Look after those beautiful children of yours, and have a great, what's tomorrow? Thursday?
Thursday
tomorrow. Have a great Thursday. See you soon, everyone.
See you,
Take care.